is Class B airspace for drones. So now I'm only talking about for drones. Before I read it, but you want to know, Class B airspace is one of the number one is one of the busiest airspaces on the planet. Now here in the United States we call it Class B. In other countries such as Europe, Germany, France, Africa, China, Japan, etc. They probably call it something else. But the definition is still the same. In each of those countries I just now listed, they definitely have a major airport. So Class B airports is basically the creme de la creme of airports. It's the top level airspace. It's big and it's vast. Drones can possess a safety hazard to manned aircraft in Class B airspace, and that's true. Remember, a bird, which is organic, if it hit the cockpit, it caused tremendous damage. It may crack or bust the window. Definitely, if it get caught up in that engine, it's gonna cause major damage. And that's just a bird, which is organic and soft. Imagine with a hard piece of plastic. Even if it weigh 250 grams, even if it weigh 5,500 pounds, going at the speed of an airplane, because you remember, it's not the comic books, people. Speed does kill. Speed does kill. So an airplane, even if it's landing, even if it's going 200 miles an hour, 150, that drone, hitting that drone, that bird is like hitting a missile. Alright. Class B airspace is the most controlled airspace in the United States. Because I said in the United States it's called Class B. Other countries it's called something else, but it's still the most controlled airspace regardless of what country you're in. It is located around major airports, as I said, and has strict restrictions on flying drones. In general, it is prohibited to fly a drone in Class B airspace without permission from the FAA or the air traffic control. Preferably use the air traffic control. Because if you contact the FAA, it may take a couple of days or hours. If you contract, especially with technology today, if you contract the control tower, it may take a couple minutes for them to give you approval to fly there. Alright, so we took care of that. I can hide this now. Let's hide it. Let's get into our 3D picture. But before I put it in 3D, I'm gonna put it in 2D first, because this is what we're gonna see on those tests, the 2D view. Let me zoom in and break it down. And here we go. I'm gonna zoom in some more, because I'm gonna go into the center part first. Now we're gonna talk about the center part. The center part is the region where you will never ever be able to fly in. All of this middle part, or you can call it the eye of the hurricane, the eye part, all in here, you will never ever be allowed to fly. And I'm going to explain why in several seconds. So remember this, the reason you can't fly here visually, because here is the airport right here. That's your airport. So, you're not going to fly there because it's the airport. The center contains the airport. That's from the physical observation. Now, from the logical operation, we have to come over here to this part right here. This gives us a lot of information right here. And if I continue on, I'm going to try something. I'm going to change this to red since it's dark now. Hit in. Let me see if red looks better. I'll make it red because that stands out from the bluish color. Alright, so I'll make it red. Alright, this gives you the information beyond visual line of sight. Let's go over this. Right now, this part right here that has this part right here that has the F, the S, F, the S, the SFC. That's basically saying surface. SFC just means surface. And we see the letters. Here's your S. Here's your F. Here's your C. They're going to make sure you know it means surface. Make sure it say surface. Okay, so it says surface right there. SAC is surface. So, but realistically, since this chart deals with a lot of numbers, really, when it comes to surface, that means the number 0. Surface means 0. So keep it in mind. Surface, you can think of surface as saying 0. Oh, 10 is the highest. Okay, I'll leave it at 10. Surface means, theoretically, from a number point of view, you think of surface as the number 0. I'll put that back to 0. Put it 0. So surface, keep that in mind. It just means 0. That's basically saying ground level. So you know, that's why from a mathematical point of view, we cannot fly there. Because surface span 0. Okay, so we're clear on that. Now, to understand it, but it's in a denominator. Well, oh yes, I know why. See, the reason they don't have 80 over 0, because this is a fraction bar right here. That's a fraction bar. Right there is a fraction bar. And they're not going to put 80 over 0 because you know you can't divide by 0. So mathematically, that's why they don't have no 0 right there. But it would help out a whole lot if they did. Alright. It would help out a lot if they did. So we got that out the way. Alright, more points to take into consideration. When we have this 80, when it comes to the numbers, it's in hundreds. So numbers always mean hundreds. So right here behind the 80, it's best to put a 0 and a 0. So that means from this surface, it goes all the way up to 8,000 feet. And usually when we have the number out here, the numerator part, that number will be repeatedly shown in the numerator. Right there. But it got to be in that fractional form though. Only in the fractional form. Right here. We keep saying that 880. Remember, and that's really 8,000. 8,000. 8,000. Let me see if I see another one out here somewhere. Let me zoom out. Yeah, see, we see it up here too. Right up here to the top. 8,000. So usually when you see that number and the I, the numerator part, it's going to be repeated over and over. So that'll take out some stress on that test. That'll take out a lot of stress because you know you're going to keep seeing that 8 over and over. You will see it over and over. Alright, so let's zoom in some more. So now I cover this. So go from surface or 0 because the surface is 0 to 8,000 feet. MSL. MSL. And MSL just mean sea level. That's the level where, you know, the ocean or the sea is taken into account. We can't use the ground. We can't say ground AGL above ground level because the ground is always changing. The sea level basically is the same throughout the whole earth. Alright, so that's the top view. Let's go into the 3D view now to see how it actually looks. So let me flip this slowly. Let me flip it slowly. Alright, so there we go. Slowly. I'm gonna bring it down slowly. And what it basically means. So here's my surface right here. I can come all the way out. My surface SFC, which is equal to 0. And it goes all the way up. And I'm going to stay right in this little area right here. Technically. It goes all the way up. All the way up right in that little area. This zone right here. It goes all the way up to our 8. Oops, that's an ugly 8. To our 8. To our 8,000 feet MSL. So basically, nothing is allowed to fly inside this cone. That cone. No one ever told me about it like that. See, that I just think came to me before, because it's really 8,000 feet for this little area right here. Remember, right here. It goes from the ground surface, which is 0, up to the 8,000 feet inside that cone. Okay, so let's move on. Let me get rid of all this stuff. Then we move on. Let me see if I can erase it. Let me go back to my view. There's the zoom in. So technically, I can fill all of this in right here because we've talked about all of this. We're done with this area right here. I'm not going to go over the numbers and stuff inside. I just want to go over interpreting it. Those levels or steps, if you want to call them that, or you like the upside down cake, but I like to call them steps. I want to go over that. So now we're going to come out to this part right here. Remember, the numerator 880, the denominator 19, but remember it goes by hundreds, so you tack on 2 zeros right here. 1 2 1 2, and now realistically this is the first level, and now we're at the second level, and the second level is special, as we're going to see when I go to my graphical part. The second level is very special, as we're going to see. So let me erase all this, good people. Then we'll talk about that second level. Now I'm only going to do, you see, this class B it got so many levels. I'm only going to talk about 2. 1 2 3. I'm only going to go over 3 levels. I did the inside, that's 1. I'm going to go over this one right now, it's 2. Then I'm going to go over the third one, and that's it. Alright, so now let's go to our 3D view. if we can. Let's see. Slowly, slowly, slowly. Let me zoom out a little. Yes, I can leave it right there. That's good. Now, oh, I can erase some more. I see more of that red stuff. Erasing. I see right something right there. Okay, now we can go back. Now, I'm right here. This part right here was our 19. Was our, let me zoom out just a little. This part right here was our 19,000 feet MSL. And it goes all the way up. I'm gonna start right here. Let's come all the way up. Zap, 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 zap. Right there. In this section, it goes all the way up again to that 8,000 feet MSL. Now we get into a special area here. We get into a special. Now you know right here, below this, that below this, we have our 12,000 feet MSL, which is Class G airspace. And you know with Class G airspace, we can fly there. We can fly in there. So, but to fly in that Class G is uncontrolled. Uncontrolled. I hope I spelled it right. It don't matter. Uncontrolled. But I can fly there. I can fly under here because I'm excuse me. I'm not at the major airport no more. But it's still Class B. It's still Class B. So I need to call air traffic control, and like that little pass I read, or the FA or FAC, but use it at traffic control. I need to call them to get permission. And to get permission, I believe it's called low altitude A, and I forgot what the other A means. And see, to me that stick out low altitude. That's all I care about. That permission. LANAC. So you need LANAC permission to fly in this second territorial. Because remember, I'm not at the airport. I may be like 5 miles from the, like for level 2. I'm just estimating. I may be like for the level 2. I may be like 5 miles, 3 miles from the airport. But you see, Class G is still in that territory. I have my, because remember, this goes from 19,000. I should bring it all the way down here. Because the Class B, now all this is called Class B. From 19,000 to 8,000, that's Class B. And below that is Class G. And a little bit of Class E. Class E is in here too. It's something that you got that space of 700. You remember, 19 minus 12 is 17. It's 700. So it's Class E in here too. So in here, the little gap is Class E. But relatively speaking, such a small amount of space, it really don't matter. Alright, so I hope that helped you out a little bit right there. I hope my writing wasn't too sloppy. But I said, again, I want to make it 3D without a lot of talking. I have notes on here. Without a lot of yappa. Notes. I wish I can control the marker, but I'm only using the simple note-taking part of Blender, so it don't have no large radius to erase, so I gotta take my time with the erasing part, but it gets the job done. I probably can expand that radius, but that's for another day. I'm already making a video, so I don't need to fumble around with it. Alright, so we did that. I go up ahead, I hit my tilde key again, I hit bottom, and then I'm going to cover our last part that I've done. The last part, I did 1, 2, well, I got a couple more parts. Here's 1, the inside is 1. I call this level 1. I'll call it step 2. Now I'm on step 3, so I got a couple more to go. Now let's go to step 3. Now, the thing about reading the distance is you gotta look for it. Right here is easy. See, we see it right there. It's easy to find it in the inner circle because the inner circle don't got that much area to cover, so you can see it. The second level is a little bit easier. But for the third and fourth level, then you gotta start looking around. See, it's in 2 spaces for the second level because it's so large. It's here, and then we're on the third ring, and it's here. Okay, so we got that. Before you even start thinking, you know it's in hundreds, so you put your 2 zeros. 0, 0, 0, 0. I can come down, erase this stuff, go back. Now put my 0 here, 0 there, 0 here. So the third step goes from, again, all of them, the maximum, the numerator gonna always be 8,000. It goes from 8,000 MSL, and my base now, or the ceiling, no, or my floor, I think it's called floor. The ceiling is the top part, and the floor the bottom. So the floor is 3,000. So here's my ceiling, C, and my floor, the denominator, F, the denominator. My ceiling, 8,000. My floor, 3,000. So let's look at our map. Let's look at the 3D. Let me erase this. Let me go back to the 3D view and see what we can do. And we're on our third ring. So 1, 2, 3. The third ring. Let me flip it over. Flip. Flip. Okay. So here's ring 1. Here's ring 2. Here's ring 3. Let me check something quick to make sure, because I don't want to make no mistakes in our learning. I'm going to check something quick. Yes, it's 3,000. I had to make sure of that. Oh, 3,000. 3,000. So right here, our floor is, I can put the numbers here now, since it's a 3,000, 3,000, and again it goes up to 8,000 MSL. MSL means sea level. The height is taken according to the level of the sea. So in here, this now is all of this is up until I get right here. I got all this area to work with. So it started at 3,000 and then shoot on up. Like before. Like before. 3,000. Way below down here. Yeah, it's still lowly. Still right down here. Is my 1200 AGL above ground level. My 1200 AGL. And way down here, you know, you got your little 400 feet down here. But don't worry about the 400 feet. So AGL. So this is class G again. Or this is G. So I can fly all under here, or all the way down here. I can fly my drone. And here, this big gap between here, that's class E airspace. Like I said, no one ever told me that before. I had to think about it. That's class E. All out here, that's class E. All out here, class E. Again, over here, underneath the 3,000 feet, class E. Then when I get to that when I get right here to 1,200 feet, class G. I hope that's clear to you good people. I know it takes some time to know up to the airspace. It took me time to get that class E. Like I said, class E is the one that's nearly everywhere. Okay, so I hope that made sense. Now, when I want to go to my 1,200 feet, if I want to fly my little drone, I still need authorization. If I want to fly in this space right here, if I want to fly anywhere in here, inside this cone area, underneath this cone area, because remember, that's still class B. But no, it started at class B when it's 3,000 feet, but it's still underneath that. You know, technically, it's still inside that the two. You know, when I have two dimensions, when it's the bird's eye view, it's still B space. So up in here, I need that authorization. From air traffic control, or as the article I read, the Pastor said, from the FAA. But usually, when it comes to dealing with airplanes directly, you're gonna have to do that air traffic control. And as I said in my earlier, when I want to start my drone, I had to get approval. When I come to the air traffic control, when I get my authorization, I'm really approval from this. I get my approval from low altitude. Remember I said, low altitude. You need their approval to fly in class G airspace while it's inside this area right here. I need approval. If I'm out here, I don't need no approval. No approval. If I'm outside that class B. But inside here, technically it's still class B. B. It's still class B all up in here. Because it comes straight down from the 2D, from the two-dimensional view. It's coming straight down in there. So I still need the approval to fly in that little area. Okay, so I hope that was helpful for you. And then we're going to do our last little part. Let me erase this slowly. I said I wish I I gotta see in the future, can I make my diameter larger for my circle? I know how to do it in a drawing program, but Blender is like a 3D program, so slowly erase this stuff. And I'm sorry for taking up your good time. I apologize. I should have checked into this some more before I start. But the next time I do this, I got some more airspaces to cover next. I'm gonna cover C next. By the time I get to C, I'll be at that and using this grease is what really it's really called grease pencil in Blender. This grease pencil. I'll be skilled at it so I can make a big gigantic diameter. Okay. Now we're on to our last part. Okay. So we covered here. We covered 1, 2, 3, and 4. And this is 4. This is our last area. And again, you gotta go looking for, but like where I got the 4 at, it's easy to see. I see it here, and I see it here. Like I said, when they get larger, here. Remember, it goes by 100, so put your 2 zeros. 1, 2, 1, 2. Put your zeros. 1, 2, 1, 2. So now my floor is 4,000 MSL, and my ceiling, which is constant, is 8,000 MSL. So now, our final one. Let's go to my little the 3D view, and let's see how that look in 3D. So here we go. 3D view. Zoom out a little. So it's big. Here. Oh, see this one. I don't even need to do no more here because this it right here. This it right here. I put my 4,000 and my 8,000. And this is basically it right here. All of this area right here. For my B airspace. Just like before. Now we shoot all the way down. All the way down here. Is my Class G airspace, which is 12,000 AGL. You know, well, all the way down here, you got your little 400 feet somewhere where we can fly the drones. So we got that. So this is even, see, now I'm gonna come all the way down to the surface for the 2D view, like I did, all the way down to the surface. Oh, that looks ugly. I'm gonna come all the way down to the surface. Now to fly in here and in here, this is still Class B. All this is in here Class B. So once more, I need permission. I need permission. because technically I'm away from this is the most important area right here. I cannot fly in this part. But you see, as we go those steps, you get further and further away from the airport. You get further and further away with each step. So I need permission to fly in here. In here I need the permission. And remember, it's using. And when I need my permission, I need that low altitude authorization and C, which is usually an app. I heard with the I never used the app. Remember, I only got I passed the test the last week of December, or the last Friday in December. That's when I passed the test. So right now I just got the little certificate. I never call. I may try Lance this one time at my school and see if I can do it at my school. Because at my school is near a military base. It's in the military Air Force base. I may do that Monday. Alright, so I need approval. So let me see, did I cover everything for this? But the last step I want to go over. In here, the flying handling permission. Remember, all out here is E. All out here is airspace E. In here, up in here, above my 1200, that's still E airspace. Like I said, nobody ever told me about that. Above my 1200 is E. So I believe I covered everything. To fly inside of here, we need our land's permission. Land permission to fly. Alright, I hope this 3D look of airspace help you out, people, because I said so many times all we see is the two-dimensional view. But you got an idea how the upside down cake look in 3D. When I was learning this stuff, 90% of them, they only focus on that the two-dimensional view, the bird's eye view. And when they did it, they never wrote on the paper. They give me any ideas. They never wrote on that paper to say this how it look. But I did try to write to give an idea what to do. Till the next time, good people, peace.